morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Blue Blood on the Main Line. This is episode 4. I'm your host, Curtis Sumpter, and I'll be interviewing one of my favorite guys of all time, again, Chris Charles. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Man, thank you, Curtis. Great to be on. Great to see you, man.
Oh, man, I can't even tell you. It's good to, talk to you again, see you. I've been following your career in Asia and overseas, and you've been doing great things. I just want to give you the opportunity, and give the Villanova fans an opportunity to get a chance to share, what you've been up to over the last 10, 15 plus years, how your professional career has gone. Just talk a little bit about your experience here at Villanova, and we'll just go from there. So just to, quickly get it jumped off. So tell us a little bit about, where you're from and how did you arrive at Villanova?
Again, thank you, Kurt, man. It's great to be on. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. I went to prep school out east after high school and started getting recruited by some of the, East Coast schools. And I originally was supposed to go to Seton Hall, and I had developed a relationship with Coach Jones, right? So during the recruiting process before I had committed, so Tommy Amaker left Seton Hall, and Joe Jones stayed, and he was at Villanova, and Coach Wright came along, and developed a relationship with Coach Wright and Coach Jones, and that was it. That's how it started. That's how I became a Villanova, man. That's where it started. But yeah, born and raised in Milwaukee.
That's so interesting. I never heard that story from you, Chris, because it's the same reasons why I never went to Seton Hall. I wanted to go to Seton Hall, Jason and I. So knowing that we could have been teammates still, if Tommy Amaker would have stayed, that's
Randy too, because Coach John Head from Hill was there.
Randy too. So just knowing that we still would have somehow been in each other's circle moving forward if it wasn't for one coach. But one coach still led us all, to being together, by Amaker going to Michigan. So that's kind of cool. So your first year, so technically, I know people say, my class, our class, Jason, Randy, Alan, Chris, Mikey, Baker, were Coach Wright's first recruiting class, but you and Marcus Austin were kind of technically like his class because, you committed under him, right? You didn't commit under Lapis, correct?
I think Marcus, I think he might have committed under Lapis, and then I committed to Coach Wright. I technically was his first signee, but y'all came, y'all came in highly touted, man. Yeah, was his first signee of the Jay Wright era, man. But yeah, me and Marcus was there. I remember playing in the All-Star game out east, and Marcus was kind of, recruiting me when we was playing. I think we were in Baltimore, and then
That's funny because within the program, after you start learning, knowing, we started here, I'm like, well, all right, well, Chris is technically like kind of with us, him and Marcus, and I think that kind of showed when we arrived on campus. Even though you and Marcus were, a class ahead of us, it was like 8 of us. It was like 8 freshmen.
Man. We was all together. We felt like we was a part of y'all class, man. And I redshirted too, so I felt like I was in that same group with you guys, man. We all went through those growing pains.
Yeah, it was so much fun. You being the older guy of our group, but yet we're so young. You know what I mean? It was just a great experience. And again, like I said, we had 5 years together. Four with you. And you've had, 5 years there with the program, but everybody got a chance to grow. And I think you being almost like a part of our class helped us a lot. You know what I mean? It truly, truly helped us grow, helped us gel. And not a lot of people know that you were the original first signee. So I just want to put that out there to people. It wasn't Alan Ray. I think Alan might have been the first one of our crew. So you got him beat on that one, that's for sure. So you arrive at Villanova. Things get a little funky, personally. You dealt with some health issues. tell me how that transition was for you. You know, you're arriving on a big stage, you're ready to start your college career, and then you have a small setback.
Well, for any freshman coming in, it's like a physical adjustment, physical and mental. So I came in, Ricky Wright and Brooks Sells. We had some big East forwards. So
Beast.
that was adjusting to that, man, adjusting to the physicality of that. And I'm a thin guy, real thin guy. So I feel like I was making progress. And then in practice, I just started feeling this was like I forgot what part it was at the very beginning of the season. And I started feeling like I didn't know what it was at the time. I had no clue, like palpitations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And having trouble catching my breath. And I knew we had got through preseason, everything. I was in tip top shape. So I was like, I know I'm not out of shape. Why am I like gasping for breath? And then, Coach Wright was like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? And then Jeff, he came and he was looking at me and they took me in the back and I was like, I can't really, I'm having trouble breathing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I had felt it before, but I was trying to push, we coming in,
Right, yeah.
you trying to make your mark. I'm trying to get on,
Understood.
I was trying to push through it. I had felt it before, man. And he was like, we got to get this checked up. So I went to the hospital. They did tests and they found out that I had atrial fibrillation. It's like just an arrhythmia. So they had to do, went through that process. They did the electro thing where they tried to shock my heart back into rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
And then took some time off and then came back and I felt good. I started playing again. And then towards the end, I think we were the NIT against Virginia. I started feeling it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then went back and got checked again. And that's when I started taking medication. And after that, I really didn't feel, I started to feel a little bit better. But yeah, that just was like it was a learning experience that made me, value just time, not only on the court, but just life in general, just a scary situation. But it also made me, hungry and just appreciative of every moment,
I totally understand. I mean, you started to realize, what's more important, putting things in perspective, when you start dealing with things like that. I have family who, dealt with heart issues. So I totally understand what you were going through. My mom, I've seen it, she still, suffers from it. So I totally get it. But seeing you go through that, our class coming in on campus, you redshirted that year. I think that was I would say that was like my first real introduction into how hard, somebody has to work, because you worked so hard just to get back on the court. I mean, the individuals, the weight room, I mean, the redshirt year. I was like, wow, like this guy's not even playing, but yet he's like working so hard. I mean, Coach Lang was there, Coach Jones. I mean, everybody. So it kind of helped, seeing you go through that redshirt year kind of helped me understand, what college basketball is about. How you really got to be good. I started to learn new habits, and I think we all, learned some good habits. And at the same time, also feeling for you as well, because wanting you to be out there. You're one of our brothers. I just think that all like brought everybody closer as well, for sure.
And like it just was the environment, and then seeing y'all coming, I was like, man, when I saw Jason Frazier the first like workout, I'm like, yeah, I got to pick it up. Like,
right.
Like I said, not only the environment where it was like I had 1 year ahead of y'all, so I knew like that's what's expected. You got to push it every day. And then seeing y'all coming in and how talented you were, I was like, I got to go even harder. Like no matter what type of playing time I get, no matter what, I just want to compete. I ain't trying to get embarrassed. Jason Frazier coming in, he running the floor. Y'all stepped it up. Y'all made everybody else, step their game up when we seen that.
When we came in, so like I said, you and Marcus is definitely a part of our class. Like I can't even think of anything else. Like, so I was technically like 8 of us. And then there was just like upperclassmen. So there's, 8 essentially freshmen and sophomore redshirt. And then there's like, juniors and seniors. And the juniors and seniors were obviously a part of Lapis's class. still making an adjustment to Coach Wright, you know, and the style. Then, you know, we come in with this, you know, hype, so to speak, but haven't done anything yet. You know what I mean? Just hype, just words of people, you know, expectations of us, what we can do. And we don't have the year, you know, people are expecting, you know, our first year. You know, we I think we might have go, Coach O's, we always say, it's either 15 and 15 or 18 and 18, some one of those two things. And you know, it was like, well, what happened? You know, you guys were expected, but I would say that that year was a little bit divided amongst the team. And I want to say it was more so of maybe some of us, you know, having expectations of ourselves as younger guys coming in with all the hype. And then the older guys who were seasoned, who knew how to play basketball, knew what it take to win.
Yeah.
Us trying to be assertive. So it was like a lot of growing pains, you know, between the team, but nothing as far as like I want to say dislike. Everyone loved each other. Like everyone literally loved each other. When we got on the court, it was like, oh, I can do this, oh, I can do that, you know, and trying to like figure it out on the fly. And it was just a great, you know, year that my freshman year, your freshman year too, technically.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't like, and me and Marcus, we still was trying to, you know, find our groove. So I feel like that's why we kind of gravitated. Whereas they were already, you know, Derek Snowden and Gary and those guys and Sully, like they had already, you know, paid their dues a lot. You know, they were established a bit more. So they probably was like, these young dudes coming in, like, you know what I mean? You know, whereas me and Marcus is a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like we still trying to figure it out as well too. So we were right there along.
Yeah.
But like you said, it wasn't like anything. We still was, it was all love, nothing personal, but that's just how it is. You're not coming in, like they're not Brooke Sells, Ricky Wright, like.
Yeah. And that's the mentality. And I think that was the thing Coach, you know, probably liked too, because I remember we came with an attitude like, it's just, you know, underclassmen against upperclassmen. Any drills, any workouts, just put the upperclassmen against the underclassmen. Like, let's do it that way. And oh man, they kicked our butt. I mean, from a physicality standpoint, it was not even a battle. You know, you're dealing with guys 3-4 years in the weight room, college basketball. It was not even a question. But the mentality, I think, and the coach seen it, he was like, all right, we got to tone it down just a little bit. You know what I mean? And, you know, I like the mentality everyone has, but we just got to, you know, be all on the same page with it. And I think once we all got on the same page, that we all going after the same goal, I think that's when the program took off, because everybody was, you know, killers. Everybody wanted to be, you know, not necessarily the man, but everybody wanted to just make their stamp, you know, when they were in the game or whatever. All right. So sophomore year comes. Tell me about that. You know, your third year technically now. You know, now I believe Jason starts to, you know, we start to see, you know, Jason experience some rough times, you know, with injuries. We just, you know, Will Sherman gets, you know, he's a new coming freshman. Now I believe, did you starting like a sophomore year, right? You were like in the starting lineup with us, correct?
I started getting some minutes, man, and then I think we had the phone scandal or something, and then I got a little bit more minutes. That's another part of our growing thing. I started getting some minutes after that because guys had got suspended, and opened the door for me to get a few minutes. But yeah, that was
that phone card thing was kind of crazy. Do you remember when we came home? What happened? I just remember we got our butts kicked by BC, and we get home late, and maybe 12 o'clock or something like that at night. And I don't know, I could have been calling home. I don't know, I could have been calling my girlfriend at the time back home, or whoever it was. But I remember picking up that phone, and we all know that do do do. And what is like? I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, something ain't right. Like some. So I'm like, all right, I pick up my cell phone, it works, but I'm like, you know, I don't want to use all my minutes, because back then you only had like,
totally different.
You know, you had to be careful. Moms are calling you like, Kurt, what are you doing? Your bill's like $300, you know, like, so the phone in the room was essential. And to understand that we were doing something wrong and we had no idea that was kind of mind blowing, you know, in itself. It was like, wait, what? Like, this is not right. But I just remember coming home that day, like, you know, the next morning something's wrong when everybody get the text is like, meet in the office. So I'm thinking it's because of the game. We just got blown out by, I'm like, coach gonna kill us. And then compliance is there.
Yeah, and they did a like whole investigation. They had us in like separate rooms and interrogation. It was scary, man.
Yo, it was scary, Chris. I'm like, and they just throw a stack of papers on you, like, now look at that and tell me what's yours. I'm like, what?
It is
I'm like,
like the numbers highlighted and everything. It was
oh man, it was and then, you know, at the end, you start to see what your bill was. And I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. And they said, yeah, but you're gonna be suspended for 3 games. I'm like, 3 games? Like, what did I do? So, you know, felt like I embarrassed, you know, myself, my family, you know, the university. I just felt like it was, I mean, I definitely NCAA did a good job. I felt like handling the situation, understanding that we had no idea what was going on. You know, I think that's rare because, I mean, I think if they wanted to throw the book at us, they probably could, but, you know, wound up being secondary violations, which allowed us to still play some suspensions and stagger games a little bit, but it was fun.
And then like how, you know, I think that also was just an experience about how, you know, I mean, Coach Wright, I remember him going like just out publicly how he handled it, you know what I mean? And not taking the blame, but just, you know, behind the scenes telling us, you know, how we represent more than ourselves and we represent the university and everything. So I feel like that was a really big just learning experience on it for us, just about how big, you know, what we represented was.
And how fragile too, because I mean, that was his 3rd year. And think about, I mean, he's trying to make his impact on a program and in his career. And then that, I mean, that was like front page, phone scandal, team. We're playing with 5, 6 guys out there. Like, that's something that's going to be on the news. And like you said, the way he handled it, poise, class, he didn't flinch. You know, everybody was on the same page. And again, you know, that explanation to us, and we saw that I don't care what you do, you always are representing, you know, your family, you know, your university. And I think that also going through that helped us. I think it helped him as well, coaching, because we did have those games where some guys could play, some guys couldn't, because we didn't even have like a full team. So trying different lineups, different styles. Even me, Chris, when we first had those things, I started playing more because, you know, throughout my first, I wasn't playing that much, but when we had those when we had that scandal towards the end of the season, I think Gary, the seniors were out, so I played a lot more minutes. And we were actually competitive in those games, which I think helped us a lot too, because people was like, oh, they probably gonna get blown out. They only playing with 6 guys, 7 guys. But no, every game came down to the absolute wire. We almost beat Pitt at home, who was number 2 in the country with 6 players. We almost beat Georgetown at the Garden, the Big East tournament, with 6 players. Sweeney and those guys. We almost beat one of my really good friends, Prosper Kawangwa, who's now the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers, their D-League team. He was on Siena. And remember, we went up to Siena and we almost beat them. So we still had opportunities to win games despite, you know, being undermanned. And I think that was a lot due to coaching. You know, coach put us in great positions to still not, you know, embarrass ourselves out there.
Right. Like everybody had to step up, and that's, you know, that's what we were about, just like fighting through adversity and figuring out ways. And that was one of those moments where it's like, all right, now we have to live what we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go through that adversity.
Exactly. Live what we're talking about. Let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time, because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. What sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay Instant approval, withdrawing cash winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season tipping off, Get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So fast forward a little bit. Now we get to senior year. I go down. You're inserted. You're getting more minutes. We're like the #1 team in the country. So all those growing pains, injuries to you, injuries to Jay Frey, phone calls, scandals, my injuries. Like, now we surpass all of that. We overcome all those obstacles, and now, coming back into senior year 2005, 2006, we're like #1, #2 in the country. And so how did that season, how was that season for you? Finally, after 5 years of the program, going through all of that, what did you make of it?
Man, it just was it was just like a culmination of all those things you just explained, and then you really can look back on it. Not then, but you can look back on it and see like that's what led up to the development of like who we became. You know what I mean? Through all those growing pains. But me, I felt like just being a part of it, man. Like for me, I had at that time I really had understood and had a feel for what my role was, and that's what coming and playing as hard as I could, trying to prepare you guys, and just being ready for any chance that I got to get on the court. So I felt a little bit more not comfortable, but because I still wanted to, you know what I mean? Like I still wanted to play more, but I was like, all right, this is my role, and I really was taking pride in that and seeing what you guys, how far you guys come, man. So that those last couple of years, man, was really like, all right.
Chris, I must say, you were the most feared guy. Would you agree with me and say you was the most feared guy in practice for about a course of maybe like 4 or 5 years, 4 years?
No, man.
What?
No, just like, I mean, the elbows, everybody know, they know about.
But you also was a bucket too, Chris. You also was a bucket too.
And I just was, trying to hold my own against these NBA players, dog, man, like 5 or 6 NBA players. All what I could, man, using what I could, man. And then, it's different rules for white team. It's not always blocked. You get away with so much. The scout team gets away with so much. So that's probably,
Nah, Chris. No, Chris. And I'm gonna circle back to it a little later on in the segment, but you were one of the most skilled players I've ever seen at your size at that time. You know what I mean? Like you probably, other than for me, playing on the circuit, Chris Bosh, I've never seen no one, could give Jay some fits at time with their perimeter game. You know what I mean? Like going inside, trying to just, play a physical game with Jason. Depending on how big you are, you might could 50-50, or you could end up on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Because Jason was a really good defender, long arms, protect the rim, strong, aggressive. But Chris, when we would say, hey, step off the block a little bit and face Chris, everyone in the gym saw like this dude is a pro. Like there's no way. And everyone, it comes to everyone, at different times. Sometimes the game slows down for people when they're early. Sometimes it slows down when they're later. Maybe you still, like you said, you had maybe a lot of things going on. You're trying to figure it out. But as far as your game, it wasn't a question. Like we knew. I mean, backboard jump shots, threes, low handles, spin hooks. Like, and then on top of that, you get an elbow here and there. It was like, this guy's, he's on his way.
Man, it takes it. In practice, I had a lot more freedom to go out and explore those things on the white team. So there wasn't as many consequences as when you get in the game. You got have to be consistent. In practice, it's a whole different ball game, man. So I was able to have a little bit more freedom. But you guys as the star players, you know what I mean, and Coach Wright and everybody else, they did a great job of making you know, from walk-ons to managers. Everybody feel like they were valued. You know, like Frank said this on the episode. He said like everybody had same status but different roles.
Right.
And
right.
that helped my confidence. You know what I mean? Knowing that, you know, you guys were saying what you were just saying, like giving me props and like, yo, keep going, like keep working. So that really helped because I still was trying to figure out what my game was, you know, in a post like Jane was.
It was like I can't post him because that's not, you know, my strength right now. I got to figure it out.
So I had to really work on, you know, I'm a skinnier dude, so I had to work on my face-up game. The coach was really, you know, work on our go-tos, turn and face. That was the thing, because you know, the post, Jason Frazier was a beast, dominant. So I had to try to work on those other things. And like I said, you guys always encouraged me from top to bottom, everybody. You know what I mean? And it gave me that ability to try to be creative in practice. And yeah, I'm always that helped me in the long run too.
No, it definitely being on the white team gives you, like you said, an opportunity to try new things and real game type situations without the same consequences as if you had the blue jersey on. You know what I mean? You might not get a look if you do certain things, but those are just real reps that you need in order to get better. And I think we all saw it, and trust me, like you prepared us. Anybody who was on that white team, even if one of, you know, the players that was in rotation go to the white team, you saw them elevate their game up a little bit or try little things. It was just another way of getting those extra reps, you know, game speed without, like you said, any consequences to build confidence. And in years of that has, you know, taken you to where I'm about to take this next conversation to basically like your professional career. I mean, people can say, you know, hey, I don't remember so much Chris Charles, you know, at Villanova playing that much, or, you know, maybe, you know, he didn't meet, you know, the expectation we might have thought he might have met. But facts, Chris, you probably arguably have had the best professional career of anyone in during Coach Wright's era, other than maybe Kyle Lowry, because he has an Olympic gold medal and an NBA championship, because that's the league everybody aspires to. But 3-time defensive player of the year, like that's hard. You know, then you was 2-time import of the year. You know what I mean? And a champion. So and you've been playing for about 15 years. Like, I think all of us brothers, I'm so proud of you, Chris. I can't even tell you, because I saw, you know, what you endured. And a lot of times people, you know, who don't have the success they want in college, you know, they give up early and don't go try to play overseas because maybe the opportunities wasn't there as much. But you stuck with it. You took what you learned, that confidence, like you said, and you the man over there now. Have you even been home since you left?
Hey, Kurt, I appreciate that, man. I just, first of all, the level that I played on, I can't compare to anything that you guys, you've been in the league and, you know, summer league stuff and Euro League. It's completely different than what I played in over the years. So I can't compare that to a lot of the leagues that some of you guys have played in.
Chris, so, pros is pros. I'm not gonna let you take no credit away from yourself. Being a pro is hard. I don't care what level you on, first division, second division, third division. You're dealing with a lot. You're also in a foreign country. There's a lot of different things that can, you know, creep in to, you know, defer the success. And I think whatever you've been doing, staying focused. I mean, how long have you been playing now? Would you say since 2007, maybe? Like,
like in the 2006, 2007. Yeah. So, but these last couple of years have been like 1 foot in, 1 foot out because, you know, COVID and things like that, man. Yeah, man,
it's still surreal, Chris. You can't believe it.
I'm still kind of in it, you know. So I'm like, but like I was saying, everything that I got from Villanova, from, you know, those lessons playing against you guys, like over the years, just the confidence was building and building. So that led to me being able to play, you know, overseas, just having that. That chip, I had a chip on my shoulder, so I was like, I want to keep, you know what I mean? Like when I got a chance, to play overseas, I wanted to stick with it, but I also had a lot of help from people. You know what I mean? Like Randy. Randy was one of the guys that, if it wasn't for him, my career wouldn't have went the direction that it went. Spent a lot of, for like every summer for almost a decade, man, working out with Randy, staying with him. So like that really helped the trajectory of my career and being able to play in these countries. And so the link to Villanova and everything, that's I attribute so much to my experiences there and the guys there over the years. So yeah, I think I'm I just hit a three, man. My body, I'm 40 years old, Kurt. 40 years
What'd
old.
you say?
I'm 40 years old, man. So
I know, right? We had jokes back then too. Like I said, you was the oldest one of our freshmen. I mean, we could send you on a beer run if we wanted to, no problem.
Freshman year.
like literally, like, no, his ID says he's good.
Turned 21 my freshman year, so I was the designated guy, man.
I remember, it was like, Chris, we out. Get your girl car. We out. We need you. And but that also, we got these young kids, because you like, I'm a year ahead of them, but I'm a couple years older than them. We got these knuckleheads coming in here. Wow, like, you know, so it was good to have you, because your attitude, as people can see, you know, from the interview, very calm, soft spoken. You know what I mean? But you know, it's people don't know, man. Chris could turn up too. I mean, Chris put us on to Kanye West. No one knew who Kanye West was. C's was bumping to Kanye West, like, who this guy, man? Put that Jay-Z on. He like, nah, this guy right here, he tight. He, you know, from Chicago, you know, because everybody know you from Milwaukee, so that Midwest.
Midwest stuff, yeah.
Yeah, you put us on to that whole Kanye West thing. We was like, okay. And those times were fun. And then when you was making a little album and everything, we go back after practice, we go back to the studio. We say we go to the studio.
Yeah, we did our rap thing, man. We used to be in a locker room rapping. Those was
fun too. People don't know, man, you got some skills. You and Will, you know, were definitely the most talented on the team when it came to wordplay or anything like that. We all tried a little bit. We had little jokes, but you guys actually, you guys actually can rap. So that was actually kind of fun.
Will he did Hoops Mania one year, didn't he?
He did. He that's what I'm saying. And you know, you see where his career went, and he wound up getting into entertainment. So you saw it back then. You know what I mean? He had a passion for it. I didn't know you had a passion for it. And I was like, oh, Chris is actually kind of nice. Like, he ain't even saying nothing. You don't say too much. You know, so I'm listening, I'm like, that's you.
I was silent, man.
Silent.
That was my little, so much fun. That was the outlet, creative outlet. Now, you know, with the internet and everything now, my songs we would have leaked and everything.
Boy, yeah. Could you imagine going viral, a video? But who knows? Coach would probably say that, guys, like you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. But seriously, like you said, with this day and age now, a Villanova rap song or a Villanova team song or something like that definitely would have went viral. Or someone would have definitely said, hey, you know what? Put that on wax. Let's play that. You know what I mean? At the beginning of the game. I don't know. You ain't been to a Villanova game in a while, but Coach might be swag surfing and doing the crowd be swag surfing. So I can see Coach right now.
I might have seen like a highlight of that. I might have seen that.
I can see Coach right now. Yeah. I can see him now bumping to your music, man. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, Coach,
so of all the places you played in overseas, I mean, I want you to just run them off real quick because long list.
Oh, man. Full seasons, I did like a tournaments and stuff. It's been over like 20 countries if I count like tournaments and everything, but I've been in Dominican Republic, Serbia, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Syria. And I don't want to forget some spots, man. Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia.
Yeah, bro.
Thailand, I've been in Thailand, so I did. That's just some of the places, but mostly like the Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Last 7 years have been Asia, man. So trying to globe
So,
trot.
so what time is it out there now? Because people need to know. It's about 8:30 our time in the morning. Had to get up extra early. What time is
it? It's 8:45 p.m.
Okay, so about 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool, man. I always, wanted to get to that part of the world one of these days, man. So hopefully, you can get another.
Man. It's two Villanovans over here in Thailand, man. Me and Andreas Block. He's in this island area called Koh Samui, and I have yet to see him yet. But I'm gonna go visit him one of these days, man. But
is Andreas playing?
No. He's not playing. He has a family in Koh Samui, but the reunion. Yeah, you got two Villanovans here, man.
So for those fans who don't know, Andreas Block was also on the team when I got to Villanova. He was one of the upperclassmen. He was a junior, right? Or senior? No, he was Andreas. He might have been a junior. Andreas was a junior from Germany, and he played 2 years at Villanova with us, and then he went and played professionally overseas. Went back home. Haven't heard or seen Andreas in a very long time. Would love to speak to Dre.
6'8", 6'9", ratchet, man.
6'8", 6'9", shooter. He was the real 100 round clip. Couldn't turn it off. Once he started shooting, you just couldn't turn it off, whether it was makes or misses. It's going up. He just kept his hand on the trigger. Don't waste all your bullets. Oh man, that's funny. I love just getting back to talking to you, Chris. I want the fans to really, know who you are, because within our family, man, you are one of the best. We love you. We were so happy and proud, of your success. Maybe not a lot of us get a chance to see it, but I follow you and understand, what all the things you've been going through and know how hard it is to be a professional, to have, a career this long playing abroad. It is not easy. And if you have anything you want to say to anyone out there listening, or even other Villanovas, young guys, on a team, or who maybe just recently graduated, like just, what you have to do in order to have and maintain that success and have a career for 10 plus years playing abroad.
Again, man, thank you for that. For using the things that we learned at Villanova, man, like how to be a good teammate, like the professional approach to the game, even when you're not getting in the game, like understanding roles, like that type of thing, whether you're the first on the star or just understanding different levels like that. I feel like that helped me with my perspective when I went overseas, just adapting to new. That's it, humble and hungry, like all of those things that we live at Villanova, like those type of things. I had to keep reminding myself when I was faced with some tough situations overseas, because you know how it is, man. It's a roller coaster, right? Anywhere you play, NBA, whatever, but especially overseas in a foreign environment. But it's to some of the guys that may not, might be playing now, there's still opportunities globally to play, to get a chance to play, and use what you learned at Villanova and incorporate into your professional career.
I agree totally. I tell guys, don't measure your success, athletically playing basketball as far as like, I didn't make it to the NBA, or I might have not gotten a tryout or into a camp or to a summer league, because there are over like 300 countries out there that have, professional teams. You can make money, and you don't want to, limit yourself to, I just got to make it to the NBA. I got to do whatever I can. Yes, that will be great. But if you do things that you're saying the right way, it can happen for you, because the NBA is, the biggest, market. Like if they want you, they can find you. Like it's not even a question where you are anywhere on this earth. If you're good enough, they will find you. Like it's that simple. They're like the government. I don't care. They got people all over on the ground, hanging out. If you're nice, Somebody gonna make a call, somebody up the chain, and they will be out there to come get you. So again, I'm just so happy that you were able to still have that experience where a lot of people who careers were cut short, and probably who weren't able to sustain, that mentality you had, that approach to the game and understanding of, your awareness. Like for me, my experiences overseas, I kind of got caught up in my own head a little bit. Like, dealing with the injuries, like, oh man, I probably shouldn't be here. We got that term, be here now. I was never present. Like it sounds like you were very present in the moment, in every situation, which allowed you, to maximize your success. So, I mean, that would be my message to people too, regardless of what your situation is, just be present, be here now. And, good things will turn out, especially if you, a good person, for sure.
That's right. That's 100%, man. 100%.
So I want to tell people, you actually tried out for a movie, correct?
Yeah.
The GOAT, though, right? But not just any movie. Like they wanted to cast you, or you were trying to.
It was just It just was So I was in Malaysia, and this is how I started, man. It just was I was in Malaysia, and I did a photo shoot. I was out there for a tournament, and I had some friends that were doing something for this brand, and they wanted to do a photo shoot, and it was kind of paying homage to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bruce Lee, and it was like this. They had this young, small dude that he's supposed to be Bruce Lee, and I was Kareem. So we took did like a shoot and everything, and I had posted pictures online, and one of my boys, actually another Villanova, Mike Barron, he's from Philly.
Yes.
He saw the tweet from the producer of the HBO special. They did something about the Showtime 80s team, the Lakers. And he sent me the tweet, and he was like, yo, they looking for somebody to play Kareem. And I was home for the summer, and I'm like, I don't have any acting chops aside from, practice and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, so he was like, yo, you should try it. You should try it. And I had pictures and everything, and I sent the pictures to the producer, and I think it was like somebody from a writer or ESPN or something like that. And I sent them, and they were like, this is what you need to do. They sent me the script, and I have a friend that worked in Hollywood. He was giving me pointers on, I forgot what you call it, but there's a certain process, the name that you have to do to send in your audition tape and everything. So I sent the audition tape in and everything, and they gave it to somebody else, obviously. But it just was just a different, cool experience, just to say that I did. And I really admire. That's like one of my idols, you know what I mean? So I was like, man, that's Kareem. I'm from Milwaukee, like.
Yeah, the Bucks.
I grew up around, Lou Alcindor, you know what I mean? Like, I was fully aware, and that's somebody that I studied, you know what I mean? So I was like, man, why not? Like, I was home for the summer, just chilling. So yeah, that was my little foray into.
I saw the pictures. When I saw the pictures, I was like, my man really looked like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was like, there's no question. Like, I was like, he got to get the role just based off of that. Like, I don't know, have some voiceovers if you need to, if you can't act. But as far as the look in the game, I know he can throw a hook right now. I know he's good. He's good.
I have a newfound respect for actors after that process, man. Just the memorization and trying not to be overacting and corny. Like, it's really a whole different discipline. I was like, yo, this is tough.
So Chris, when I was middle school, I was involved in a program. It was like performing arts program school. And I was on the drama, team, and doing little skits and different things, and did a couple monologues, and then was asked to try out for a sitcom. They were starting a new sitcom in New York City, and it was called like The Streets or something like that. And it was based on, I guess, like Wall Street execs, agents.
Oh.
Like people trying to invest in the sports and just trying to find talent, right? So I was playing. I was gonna play a kid that was playing basketball, obviously. You know, a young kid who's like the man in the city, and like all these execs like, we got to go to the neighborhood, get this kid. So that was like the whole thing. They sent me the script. I had no idea how this happened. So then they sent the limo to come get me, Chris, me and my mom. They said, I was like, oh shoot. So then they like, hey, you got a portfolio? And I'm like, what? What is that? My mom was like, portfolio? She's like, yeah, where's your pictures and stuff? I'm like, y'all just found me off the street. Like, I really think I got all of that. So my mom back then, we went to the store, got some the Kodak disposable cameras. Chris,
Oh, wow.
I'm in the neighborhood posting up on mailboxes. I don't care what it was. We trying to just make a quick little photo album. Take it to the 1 hour joint. Go to the audition.
Brooklyn? Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, Chris. Like literally no book. We just like throwing pictures on the table, like here, like we just, this is last minute, like literally last minute thing. I walk into a room, other, kids, but professional, a little older. I was maybe 14. They might have been like 19, 20, in the game, but going to be playing a younger guy because that's how it goes.
Yeah.
And hearing them read, Chris, oh my God, I was so nervous. I was like,
the talent.
The talent, the mannerisms. I was like, yo, then it was my turn. Bro, I think my whole joint was improv. I probably remember like the opening statement to these statements, and I was just flowing with it. Like, now granted, they probably were laughing at me, but they were entertained. They thought it was cool. Yeah. They saw my inexperience. Long story short, they was like, you know what? We can use you as a stunt dummy. You can do all the basketball scenes. And I was like, I guess. I'll take it anywhere I can. You know what I mean? But like you said, acting, I don't know. It's very, very time consuming.
Didn't Jason Jason do something before? And I feel like he did some type of theater in high school or something. He told
I can see Jason is
right.
theatrical in life in a good way. So I can definitely see him. I mean, when he committed to Villanova, I think he put on a production. Or so he was like LeBron before LeBron. You know what I mean? He did the whole taking my talents to Villanova thing. Everyone's like, what? They called me like, hey, you going to Jason's press conference? I'm like, I have school. What do you mean? Like he did a whole show like during school hours. So
I remember watching it in Coach Wright's office. Like they were watching it, they had like it playing in Coach Wright's office and everything. He had the hats or something like
Jay. That's Jay, man. Jay. I mean, he put this together. I mean, he's part of this. He's originator of the podcast. I mean, Jay is the man. Jay is the man. But I just want to transition a little bit over. So I'm glad we got a chance to talk about your Villanova experience, your career, touch up on that. But let's talk about this team right now, man. We're looking, right now, I think we're 5-2. I'm sorry, we lost 2 games. Teams, looking pretty good. I believe they're just kind of going through those growing pains early on in the season. I think, everyone's still trying to find their role other than, Colin or Samuels. I think everyone's still trying to find their place. What have you observed so far? Especially that UCLA game. I thought we definitely had that.
Yeah, like you said, man, I think Colin and Jermaine, that leadership is there. You could tell that they have, that older presence or whatever. So I just think it's good that they're going through some learning experiences now early because as we know, it pays off in the end. Coach Wright does a good job of, bringing guys along as the season goes, and then the guys that are on the bench proving themselves, giving them time and to prove themselves in practice. So I was, personally, like just a post guy, like I was impressed with some of the things I've seen from Eric Dixon, a big fella, man. Just his like footwork and his patience down there and the ability to use his body and everything. So that's like one of the like specific things. And Justin Moore, like I like his toughness, man, and like his like
he don't stop. I mean, he's always aggressive, foot on the pedal, which is good. You need somebody like that, and you got Colin who can, drip feed, that aggressiveness, but also manage the team. They got a good balance. You know what I mean? Justin can just go out there and just try to light it up, whereas Collins can kind of manage it a little bit. So they play off each other like really, 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 really well. But that UCLA game, I knew we had it. There's maybe 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left. I just felt that we got tired. I think our depth didn't allow us to finish the game. I think we played a great game. I think moving on throughout the season, that's going to really be our biggest challenge is getting solid productivity off the bench consistently.
Right.
But that's just, going to be, through the course of the season, figuring out guys in rhythm. But I do think our main core guys, starting five, I think we're solid enough and we're competitive enough to still, do great things this year.
Yeah, like you said, just the continued development and the depth, like having the depth. I think Slater is a guy that can, just make a difference with his size and his ability to he could shoot, man. I just feel like his just getting comfortable and Coach Wright getting comfortable putting him in certain situations, and you got to keep coming along and improving himself. But I feel like he's an X factor.
Definitely right now, most improved player in the Big East, most improved player on the team. And you see it game by game, just the confidence to take the shot. I just think he's going to continue to keep building on that. And like you said, he's paid his dues. He had 3 years where, he had to figure it out and find his way. And you see it now, like the team guys are happy for him, you know what I mean? Because they saw, what he had to do to get to this point. And then, Coach has that faith in. And that's one thing about Coach. If he says, I'll put you in the game and I have faith in you, it's no lie. Like it's really the truth. And, you just have to believe it, though. You know what I mean? Like, if you believe it and you go in there, like, this guy has faith in me, I can go out here and just play hard, do mistakes and whatever, and just listen to the message, when leaving the floor, whether good or bad or whatever, like, but just understanding the message. It's like, it's a no-brainer. Like, you tend to have more success. Because, again, that's his biggest thing. If I put you on the floor, I'm basically telling you can go and do what you want to do, just within the way how we play. So I think Slater. What about so tell me, what do you think about so you said you mentioned Eric, you mentioned Dixon a little bit before. Like I've watched him. This is his 3rd year. He redshirted his freshman year. Last year played a little bit. I really do think he can be another guy who plays at the next level as well. I watch his agility for someone who moves his size. Not a rim protector, but I definitely think can play some small ball 4, small ball 5. What do you think about that tonight?
I just being able to switch, like
exactly.
He can use his strength down low, but he also can move his feet a little bit on the perimeter, and he can shoot. Like
yeah, he just think
where the game is played now, like I feel like he could find a place. So and the way we play now in college, like everything is, he's getting the ball in the post and being able to work, but just he's being able to play on the perimeter as well. So, you was one of the guys that was, ahead of your time as far as how the game is played is now and how you were back then. It was like prototypical to what.
It's funny you say that, Chris, because one of my friends said that to me, and I was like, this was a couple of years ago, and I never thought about it. And I started thinking, I was like, I said, you know what? I said, in my mind, I thought that, not ahead of the game, but I was like, I'm a little different, but it always led to, like combating, not combating with coaches, but I felt like no one knew how to play me or where to put me. You know what I mean? Or like I had to like figure like a lot of my success. I felt like I had to figure it out within the game because of probably naturally understanding or being able, like you said, small ball, four, play the three, could play the three, could play five, we play five. But that was always my struggle growing up because I was like, nah, I'm a guard. He's like, nah, you're a. I'm like, no, I'm a guard. Like, nah, I'm a four. Like, I'm like, I don't care what y'all say. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a guard. Like, I don't get what you say. Like, nah. But I'm like, all right, well, put a guard in front of me. Like, let's go. Like, all right, well, if I can score on guards or they ain't score on big man, then what am I? Like, I don't understand it. But that would be the challenge, you know? Like for you, Chris, if the game was the way it is now, even back then, yeah, you'd have been on that floor a hell of a lot more, stretching that defense, like, you know, with the way you shoot the ball, like it's almost like, you know, a lot of guys are going to be getting a lot more opportunities, which is good because again, you with growth, you want to see more success and the game is growing and not just, you know, making it one dimensional. You got to stand there, you 7 foot, you're on the post, or you're over there. Because that was one of the first conversations with Coach Wright. He was like, I need you when we reverse the ball, I need you to duck in and seal on the ball reversal. I'm like, that's Ricky Wright. Enough said. Enough said. That all right. Let's see what happens. If he try to duck it on Ricky Wright on a ball reversal or Jason Frazier. Or I was like, Coach, can I just step out a little bit to the porch? Like 1 or 2 dribbles, man, get by him. And then that was the evolution. He was like, all right, you know, like just make sure you playing defense. Make sure you out here playing defense, scrapping, and I'll give you, you know, a little leeway. You know, he wanted me to do that first, and I was like, I did it. I did it, but it was just not.
You had to prove the guard the post first, and then you know playing the post.
Yeah, I had to prove like you know I can guard that. Then he was like, all right, now offensively, since you can guard it, now I can step you out, and I think that helped everyone's game out. My game spaced the floor because we had a lot of penetrating guards. You couldn't be. Jason needed the block. Jay needed the block. You couldn't have both of us down there trying to, you know, occupy lanes. And but yeah,
when Jay got hurt, that opened up everything for everyone else. You know, unfortunately, when he got hurt, like your ability to do those things opened up, and that was like the emergence of that 5 out kind of like thing. So
that 5 out thing, man. So what do you got going on in your schedule? Are you on the road right now, or you home? You guys, when's your next game?
Hold on, I'm in Bangkok right now. I was playing in this was my first. They had like a 3-on-3 tournament here. It was my first time playing 3-on-3, and I'm in a hotel now. We finished it, and I'm just here in Bangkok. Before I live in, it's called Phuket. It's on the other side of the country, but overseas stuff. Where I'm waiting on my the paycheck, man, and then I'm going back.
Yo, this is a public service announcement to all athletes that go play abroad. Man, oh man, be aware there are times you will not get a check. And again, you still have to be professional, which is like the toughest thing. Like, how can you work your butt off and you know put yourself in harm's way and risk, and then someone says, "Hey, I don't have your money at the end of the 2-week period or month or whatever it is," and then it might happen 2 or 3 times in a row. But you still have to be professional. I remember telling my mom, I was like, I gotta come home. I was in Greece. And I said, "Ma, I gotta come home now." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "If I don't come home now, I'm afraid I'll never come home." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I'll explain to you when I get home." I was like, "I haven't got paid in like a month and a half." I was like, "This is crazy." And I got people in my face like, "Hey man, you need to practice." I'm like, "No, I'll shoot jumpers and I'm gonna do my own practice so I don't hurt myself, because if I can get out of here, I'm gonna get out of here, go to another team." But like it's a different ball game, man. We have to really appreciate, what we have, here. And shout out to the NBA and the D League. Keep growing.
I don't want to scare off people though, man. It is some teams,
No, it's it's a great experience.
It's just like you said, man. It's sometimes everybody has like a little story of the payment stuff, but
Nah, you never want to. I never would scare anybody from going. I say it's like I said, it's over 300 countries over there. Like definitely, definitely go over there and take any opportunity you can. But just know, everything that can possibly come with it. I think, being informed is great, because sometimes people might not inform you because it benefits them. You know what I mean? You might be introduced to a team that has a history of something that you don't know, but you're informed like, hey, like you should probably go there. So definitely, do your research. We living in times where, economics is key. So you don't want to get yourself in a situation and sign a contract where, it don't always work out, or have some kind of out. Definitely have some kind of out in your deal.
I got a story. I know we're going a little.
Go ahead, Chris.
That's how I like ended up. So my first like real job overseas was in Serbia, and I played 1 year and I signed 2 years. And you play for Serbian coaches, man. You know how it is, man. So it was like a real grind. But for me, I was just so happy about, finding a play. Okay, I got some stability, 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it got to the point where, like you said, like it was like a month went by and 2 months, and this was my second year with the team. I'm like, what's going on? I was like, I have to leave, man, if this is going to continue. I ended up leaving. But they kept my rights as a player, so I wasn't allowed to sign with other teams overseas, even though they broke the contract by not paying me. And that's how I ended up, like, Randy was like, he was in Minnesota at the time. And I was at home. He was like, yeah, you can come here, come work out with me. It was like preseason and stuff like that. And he was like, just come here and stay with me. And I went with Randy in Minnesota and was just working out with him. Got an opportunity to like meet Kevin McHale and like just the exposure, man, playing against I think Al Jefferson was there, Corey Brewer and stuff like that. So just having that NBA experience, like seeing what the preparation and stuff, I was able to like learn from that and take that overseas with me. But that's how I started like working
understanding the business too.
And understanding like the other sides of it and seeing how it is. But I eventually got back overseas, but that kind of gave me a lot of just learning experience right there with Randy and seeing what it was like, the preparation that they get doing the league and everything. I was able to use that and take it overseas with me.
Yeah. And I was almost in that situation where, I had a decision to make and was being threatened of not having my rights released. And I took that chance. I was like, go ahead. I was like, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But at this moment, I can no longer be, a part of this organization. And you live and learn. Like it's a part of life and growing up. And then again, we've been talking about this. You go into the real world, outside of Villanova, things taken care. Now your business, you have to take care of it on your own. You have to do your own research. Can't trust everybody. Everybody isn't, in it for you, despite what they say. And you might, find yourself in a few tough situations, but the things that you learned previous, you got to kind of fall back on, and kind of help you get through. And it sounds like that's what you did. Sounds like it's what I've done, and a few other players, that come through Villanova has learned and have done is, how to hit that reset button, and then go back to the basics. Go back to what got you there. And yeah, man. But I'm glad it all worked out, Chris, man. And like I said, you have had arguably, if not the second best career professionally, other than Kyle Lowry under, Villanova, Jay Wright's, class. I mean, the things you've done and continue to still do is amazing. So I just want to give you your flowers, bro, right now. Let you know that I've always, respected, admired you, and always, especially admired your determination to continue to, play ball, man, at a high level, because, I wish I can play that. When you said that 3-on-3, I'm going to text you on the side when we're done. Like, send me some information, man. It was 3-on-3 because I can play half court.
Yeah, of course.
And the key, the mid-range game, oh, yeah, I'm still good there. I'm still good there.
No, hey, man, I appreciate those words and everything, man. Like I said, learning from you guys from the beginning, man, at Villanova, like the type of talent you guys had was extraordinary, but also like how y'all treated your teammates was like next level as well, man. So that really, like I said, it kept me going, you know what I mean? Kept my confidence. Like that's what really matters is what happens in the inner circle, right? With your teammates and what they think of you. So that really was crucial to trying to become like a pro, even though I didn't know if I would have opportunity or whatever, but just knowing like your teammates telling you like, you can play unite, you can play, like that really helps get gas and do this up. Like, man, I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna find something, man. If these dudes, Curtis Sumpter telling me this, Jay Frey, all these guys telling me this, like I know that just keep going after that goal, man.
That's what's up, man. What so when you coming home, when is the season done for you?
Well, I've been living here since pre-COVID. I initially came over here to play in a league, and then when COVID happened, I just decided to stay. And then when leagues started slowly coming back, I would jump on to whatever opened up. And then my goal right now is like I'm settling in Phuket. Like that's where I want to have a home. You know what I mean? I want to come home and everything, but I have my cultivate basketball. I've been, training players and working with the youth here, having programs here. So that's something that I've been doing also. So eventually I'm gonna make it home. It's been like 2 years since I've been back to the States. I want to come back and see you guys and then come back to Villanova and see my family. So
if you stay out there, I'm definitely gonna, book a trip out there and come see you. I think that's awesome. With what you're doing. Wow, Chris, really? Like I say, really? That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm like still lost words. I'm like, really? All right.
We got to talk off camera, man. We got to talk off camera, but
we will.
Get a reunion coming back, but I definitely want to come back to the home base, Villanova. We got to get a reunion for the guys, man.
We will, man. But I think that's our time, Chris, man. But again, thanks a lot for setting aside some time to do the show. I'm gonna need you to help recruit others, Randy, whoever, get them on the show, tell some stories, and just kind of relive some of those old fun moments we had. I don't think no one knew, like, we were really, really a tight group, and it contributed to our success, hands down. We did everything together. If we went shopping,
South Street,
12 of us went shopping. Like we went here, 12 of us went there. It was like if somebody got in trouble, everybody got in trouble. It was we just always was a crew. We looked like a legit like gang, like 8, 9 people always together. And it was the best times. It's a brotherhood that will last forever. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. So thanks again, Chris, for joining the show, brother.
I love what you're doing, Kurt, man.
Yeah.
I love this, man.
For sure, man. And good luck in your next tournament. When you guys play again?
I just signed for that 3-on-3, man. So I'm waiting on the next
day. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, bro. Keep shooting some of them 4-pointers, man. That you run the score up on them. All right, Chris. Well, everybody, this is our time. Thank you again for joining the show. Another edition of Blue Blood on the Main Line with Chris Charles, Saigon legend. What are we gonna say? Just one of those killers out of Milwaukee. One of the best loved players to ever come out of Villanova. One of the best teammates you can ever have. I mean, obviously everyone can tell by this interview what type of guy Chris is. So much success, much love, man. I love you, and happy holidays, and I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, Kurt.